Hosting an Olympic Games during a pandemic, not easy. But neither is hosting one while rebuilding from World War II.
The bombing of Hiroshima.
Japan is resilient, but to show you how it's changed since the '64 Olympics,
Konnichiwa.
well, COVID restrictions kept me confined.
So we're taking a bus tour with Keith and Dan from NBC Philly.
To the passenger side of this NBC ride.
This is how I'm shooting the video. Hanging out the side of the van. I feel like that's like a TLC lyric.
No, I don't want no scrub.
I mean, that makes me scrub. Since Tokyo last hosted the Olympics in 1964, the city has gained about 13 million people. For context, that's about the size of the entire Los Angeles metro area. And Shibuya Crossing has grown right along with Tokyo, and it operates like clockwork. By the time that light is finished, everyone is out of the crossing. Watch this.
The bright lights of Tokyo can make it easy to forget some dark parallels with history.
The second atomic bomb was exploded over
In 1964, Japan was still rebuilding from the nuclear attack by the US in 1945. Today, Japan is recovering from a different nuclear disaster at Fukushima in 2011. That's why the area was picked to host the official first competition of these games.
We really were on the verge of witnessing the greatest Olympics in history. If you're coming to Japan, you're going to eat well, you're going to drink well, you're going to have a heck of a lot of fun. That was the story up till December 2019.
Roy Tomizawa wrote the book 1964, How the Tokyo Olympics Symbolized Japan's Miraculous Rise from the Ashes.
What Japan was hoping for after the war, they were hoping that the world would include Japan again into the global community. But, you know, right now we're sort of seeing the opposite. You could almost say that these are the exclusion games, right? So you could say, wow, this is the exact opposite of what happened in 1964.
1964 was also the first time NBC broadcast the Olympics. Today, many Japanese residents will watch the Olympics broadcast via the still new-ish Tokyo Skytree.
This is the second tallest structure in the world. It's a little higher than 2,000 feet. For context, that's about 300 feet taller than One World Trade in New York. Oh, and by the way, this cost $65 billion to build.
But it's still hard to beat 1964, when Japan unveiled the world's very first bullet train just months before the Olympics.
It was very important for Japan as a host, again, to appear quote-unquote civilized and modern, or you might say kind of re-civilized and remodernized after the war.
As host nation for the first games to be held in Asia, the Japanese have gone all out.
One last thing, Tokyo was actually first selected to host the Olympics in 1940, but they had to back out because they wound up at war with China. So 1940, war, 1964, post-war, 2020, global pandemic.
You know, if you follow the Olympics, the run-up to every Olympiad is filled with controversy. To me, the Rio Olympics just had everything that could go wrong went wrong. But on the whole, people remember the athletes.